The Beaches podcast is going to give you everything you want to know about a beach before you go there. I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to check out our website, www.sandee.com. Without further ado, let's get into the show.
All right, everybody, get ready. We're about to take a deep dive into, well, hurricanes.
Hurricanes it is, those powerful storms. We'll uncover how they form, the science behind it.
Yeah, because it's not just about knowing when hurricane season is. It's about understanding what we're dealing with here, right?
Absolutely. And how to stay safe if you're thinking about, maybe traveling during hurricane season.
Which, let's be real, a lot of us do.
That's right. So you want to kick things off with what exactly a hurricane is.
Yeah, let's unpack that. So when we say hurricane, we're not just talking about any old thunderstorm here, right?
No, not at all. It's not just a matter of some wind and rain. It's a very specific recipe, you could say.
Okay, so what are the ingredients for this hurricane recipe?
All right, so first, picture a giant pot of water.
Okay, got it.
Simmering on the stove, really warm water. And that's our ocean, right? It needs to be warm, at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That's our fuel.
80 degrees, that's like bath water.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, that warm water, it evaporates, sending water vapor up into the air.
Right, warm air rises, like a hot air balloon.
Exactly. But here's the thing. When that warm, moist air rises, it leaves behind an area of low pressure down below. Kind of like a vacuum.
Okay, I'm trying to picture this.
So naturally, the air around it, which has higher pressure, wants to rush in and fill that void. But guess what? As that air flows over the warm ocean, it gets heated up too, picks up even more moisture, and also starts to rise.
So it's like this continuous cycle of warm air rising and cooler air rushing in.
You got it. It's like this swirling system. And as that rising air cools, the water vapor in it condenses, forming clouds, and eventually those massive thunderstorms we associate with hurricanes.
Okay, so we've got our rising air, our thunderstorms, but it's not spinning out of control yet. What gives a hurricane that, iconic swirling shape?
That, my friend, is where the Earth's rotation comes into play. Specifically, something called the Coriolis effect.
The Coriolis effect. Okay, so we're getting a little sciencey here. Could you give us, a crash course on that?
Of course. Imagine rolling a ball straight across a spinning merry-go-round.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this.
From your perspective, the ball seems to curve as it travels, right? That's essentially the Coriolis effect. On Earth, this means air masses don't move in straight lines, they curve. And in the case of hurricanes, this creates that spinning vortex.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. So we've got warm ocean water, rising air, thunderstorms, and thanks to the Coriolis effect, the whole system starts to spin, picking up speed and power until, bam, hurricane.
Exactly. And once those winds reach a certain speed, that's when it's officially classified as a hurricane.
Speaking of complexity, let's be real. Planning a trip during hurricane season can feel like navigating a hurricane itself. So how about some, practical tips? I love a good beach vacation, but I'd rather not have a hurricane crash the party.
I hear that. No one wants a side of hurricane with their sunshine.
Exactly. So, first things first, when is hurricane season officially?
For the Atlantic hurricane season, we're talking June 1st to November 30th.
Okay, two things. First, that's a pretty long season. And second, does Mother Nature actually follow that calendar strictly?
You've got a point. She does what she wants. Right. That's why flexibility is key when planning your travel.
All right, so how do we bake that flexibility into our travel plans?
It's all about those refundable options. Flights, hotels, choose the refundable option whenever you can.
That's great advice. But what about those situations where your dates are just set in stone, say for a wedding or something?
That's when information becomes your best friend. The National Hurricane Center website. It's a goldmine.
Oh, yeah, they've got those tracking maps and everything.
Exactly. And forecasts and safety information.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, another great resource is social media. Follow local meteorologists in the area you'll be traveling to. They can provide really localized updates.
Oh, that's smart. It's like having a personal weather expert on the ground. Okay, so we've got refundable tickets. We're following the experts online. What else can we do to be super prepared?
Well, having a plan B is essential. Like what happens if your flight gets canceled? Or worse, your hotel is in an evacuation zone. Do you know what to do?
That's a really good point.
It's all about minimizing stress. Have a backup itinerary, know what to pack for an emergency, make sure you can communicate with your travel buddies.
Okay, this has been eye-opening. It's amazing how much goes into staying safe during hurricane season. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Even with the best technology and planning, Mother Nature is still the one calling the shots. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive into hurricanes.
Thanks for listening to the show, and be sure to tune in next week for your favorite episode about some of the best beaches and beach information in the world.